Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com here at the Texas Six-Man Coaches Association Clinic here in Wichita Falls. Here, the head coach of the Rankin Red Devils and a member of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football 40 under 40 coaches, Garret Avalos. How many times have people come up and given you grief about that?
Yeah, quite a bit. I didn't know about it for a couple weeks, and then my family got a hold of it and posted it all over Facebook and all that stuff. So I've gotten it a lot today, getting some hard time from my buddies and stuff in the association. But pretty cool, man. I'm honored. I have a great coaching staff. A lot of guys with no egos that work really hard, and they're the reason that we're a lot successful. So.
Well, you've been extraordinarily successful there at Rankin, and I'm interested in the culture building and how you get guys to buy in, because you talk with 6A coaches and they have to get buy-in from 80 guys. You're relying on a lot fewer guys, but it seems all the more important to get them all pulling the rope in the same direction. How do you feed that culture and get guys to buy in and pull the rope in the same direction?
I would say what I feel like we have a lot of success with as a staff is we're pretty good at building relationships with kids. I think to be a good coach at the six-man level, with like you mentioned, with that few of kids, every kid's important, and it's super important that you develop lifelong relationships with those kids. And I think once you can do that, you just start seeing a lot more buy-in. When kids know that you love them, we have a lot of kids that, it's sad to say, but we're their father figures. And so I think that's the key. I think building those relationships is the first thing to getting them to buy into what you're selling.
You guys are now moving into 2021 after a trying 2020. I'm interested in how you feel like 2020 went all together. I mean, obviously, everyone had a difficult time. The expectations there in Rankin are always very good or very high. When you take a look back on 2020, how do you assess what you guys were able to do?
It was a special group. We had a lot of seniors, some really, really talented athletes. Of course, with COVID throwing a wrinkle and things, we struggled just like everybody to kind of get back to the grind. Felt like missing the spring was critical for a lot of people. We build a lot of toughness, we feel like, in the off season and in our track program. And I feel like that's where a lot of kids, especially young kids, experience success going into that next season and kind of gear them for the transition from JV to varsity ball and things like that. So that was unfortunate, but, looking back, it definitely was, a season that we felt like didn't go our way. We wanted to achieve a state championship like we talk about every year. But man, there's some really good teams out there in that season, and some things that were out of our control that ultimately, going into that Sterling City game, we lost the game with Van Horn the week before and just didn't get to play. And then you go in, you're facing the best team in the state, and, we just felt like we ran out of gas. But I felt like the best team won that night. They deserved everything they accomplished after that, and they got a great staff and some great kids. So definitely came up short, but looking back, we feel like we learned a lot of things as a staff, and some things we're going to look to correct. We lose a lot of guys, but we had a great JV season, and we're looking forward to working with a group of young men that are really hungry to kind of prove that they can play at a high level.
When you mentioned, graduation, you guys do get hit relatively hard by graduation, but, good youngsters coming up. Do you have a feel quite yet on how this 2021 team may be different from this 2020?
Oh, yeah. We're going to lose a lot of speed and just a lot of great athleticism. But we have a group coming in that, as a staff, we've been really high on for several years now, about how coachable they are, how hard they work, and just their character. So we're looking forward to having a great group of men that just do things the right way and want to be successful. We're not going to be as flashy and as athletic, but I think these guys are going to do the little things right, and that's going to be their success.
And finally, Coach, the last time we were around Rankin, we were actually talking. We were in Llano at the Texas High School Barbecue State Championships. Ran into your crew down there. I believe a number of your players there on the barbecue team. My question is, you're the head football coach. How have you not weaseled your way into some sort of coaching position on this barbecue team?
The guy we have that does that, he's a longtime Rankin guy. He actually taught me and was a coach for a little bit when I was in school there. And so that's right up his alley, man. He does a really good job with that stuff. I'm just glad at times they let us come sample the food and take part in that.
So that's your job is quality control.
Yes, absolutely. I sample and judge a little bit and critique. So,
Coach, appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.